Formerly known as the Gillespie Road, Arsenal is the only tube station that is named after a football club. And this is the place where most Arsenal fans travel before their games. And after they leave the station, they usually turn right to get to the Emirates Stadium. However, when you get out of the station, you are faced with this long, narrow street. And it's no accident, because just over 15 years ago, you would see this street filled with people walking down towards Arsenal's old home. Just down the street on the left, there's Arsenal's former ground, the Highbury. So why did Arsenal move from the Highbury to the Emirates? In fact, why so many clubs in recent years moved their grounds and rebuilt the stadiums? Well, to answer that question, we'll have to go all the way back to 15th of April 1989. It all began with a FA Cup semi-final match between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, the day that is now known as the Hillsborough disaster. As a result of these events, the following year the FA decided to make compulsory for all the clubs to transfer their homes into all-seater stadiums. Basically, it means that every visitor has to have an allocated seat, so the standing terraces were now history. The rule came into place commencing 94-95 season, so the clubs will have a little bit of a time to implement the change. And that meant only one thing. You see, you can fit in one place more people standing up than sitting down. So the capacity of every ground that had to be rebuilt drastically decreased. Now, all those missing supporters from the games every week had a huge impact on the club's revenue. The change was inevitable. Arsenal was simply too large of a club for such a small stadium. But rebuilding the Highbury wasn't as easy and as cheap as you might imagine. So they had to leave the place where Arsenal enjoyed the most successful years, where they achieved the incredible season of the Invincibles. At this very place, Thierry Henry scored his most iconic goals. This is where the crowd cheered on Dennis Bergkamp's amazing skills, where Ian Wright celebrated after scoring numerous goals. Right here, right at this place. They had to say goodbye to it all, because they decided to build a brand new stadium. But that wasn't an easy task either. You see, you can't just build a huge building for 60,000 people in the middle of London. They had to find a suitable place for it, not very far from here. In the end, it turned out to be a local recycling site, which they moved down the street so they can build the new stadium at the local wasteland. So the old Highbury was turned into a block of apartments, and it's very well preserved. You can still make out the 4 stands and the pitch in the middle, but now it's no more than just a residential site. So when the Arsenal moved to a new, bigger and better stadium, they were ready for new, bigger and better things. Well, they are still waiting.